This is the Montblanc 144 Meerstruck fountain pen. It's no longer in production. This particular pen was made in the 1980s and the 1990s. That was an interesting period in German history. It covered the end of the Cold War and the end of the Berlin Wall. Because of that, the early versions of the pen, and I have one here, actually say West Germany, or actually W Germany, because they were made before the end of the Cold War. And the later ones, and this is actually a later one, just say Germany. And the very final series of these pens also included a serial number. The pen was made in this rather beautiful burgundy colour, and it was also made in the classic Montblanc black. The pens were made in precious resin with gold-plated fittings on them, the pocket clip, the cap rings, etc. This was the smallest pen in the Meerstruck range. It was a 1 series, so it was a Meerstruck. 144, so it was the smallest model that was available. It was very much a lady's pen. It would fit quite neatly into a purse or a small handbag, and it was very popular with the ladies. It was also popular though with business people because, particularly the black one here, it's small and discreet. And to give you an example, this is the next size up in the Montblanc range, the 146, and as you can see, it's a much larger pen. This is much more noticeable if you pull it out in a meeting to take notes. Even if people don't see the Montblanc insignia there on the cap, they still realise that it's a big and quite expensive pen. The 144 was a lot smaller, a little more discreet and less ostentatious than the 146. The 149, which was the even larger series, was absolutely massive. It's got a simple pull-off push-on cap. Very, very simple. This actually led to a problem with this pen. The cap is secured by this gold-plated retaining ring, which actually locks into a plastic barrel inside the cap, and if I slide it in, you can just hear it click into place. What happened is, over time, residual ink in the cap attacked this gold plating, which is actually a lot thinner than the rest of the gold plating on the pen. And the action of pushing the cap off and on, and the chemical attack from the ink, gradually wore the gold away, and the pen began to look very low quality and shabby. As a direct result of that, when Montblanc replaced the 144 series in the late 90s, early 2000s with the 145, also known as the Classique, you'll see it here, they actually produced it with a screw-on cap. That's the Classique, the replacement pen. The 144, back to the 144, very simple cartridge filling system to load ink into the pen. You could buy an additional cartridge adapter, which you would put in place of the cartridge, and by screwing the plunger out you could load the pen with ink directly out of an ink bottle. Made it a true fountain pen. There was a weakness with these pens, and that was at this point here. The later series had this brass screw fitting to put the body onto the pen section, the nib section. The early ones, the first series, had a plastic fitting, which you can just see here. That plastic fitting was the weak point in the, I'll show you like that. That plastic fitting was the weak point in the whole pen. If you flexed the pen at all in a trouser pocket or in a jacket pocket, it would snap off at that point. This threaded section would break away. Once that happens, the pen is useless. You can't put a cartridge in it and you can't repair that broken section. Essentially, it's useless. So that was the second major problem with the pen. They fixed that during the life of the pen by producing a brass screwed thread on the later series. It was only the early series that had that plastic ring breaking problem. The pen came with a range of different nibs, both in style and in size. You'll see two different styles here. One is the yellow gold and rhodium plated, and the other is the all gold, 14 karat gold. I've actually just put the caps on the wrong pen. And the pen also came with a similar sized ballpoint pen. This was actually quite nice. I still use this extensively. It's a nice size for a little ballpoint pen. It's nice and easy to write with, and it's a Montblanc. So there you have it. This was the Montblanc 144 series, a nice little ladies size pen, still very collectible. You can pick them up on eBay for about $200. Make sure if you do, you don't get the one with the plastic fitting, or if you do, treat it quite very carefully, and also look for corrosion in this area here. Other than that, the 144 series is bulletproof. It never goes wrong, it just keeps on writing. It's a very, very nice pen and highly collectible.